He was on VAR when Odegaard played basketball with the ball, and when Maka got studded in the chest. No, was he really?
Yeah, bad on it.
See, again, so there's the Van Dijk knee, the Odegaard basketball, Doku fly kicking someone. The problem is there's too many major incidents that he was involved with, and now this video has come out. Listen, oh wow.
But that's just going to happen now. Everyone's going to keep tracking back, and I think that this has made it. I think this situation has automatically made it bad for every single referee that like refs any game from here on.
Everything's going to go Liverpool's way now. Every single decision. Every if there's like a blatant error that in Liverpool's games going forward, it will go for them because the referee won't want to make a mistake because he'll get crucified.
That's also true because then the integrity is just kind of out the window as a whole. And I think this is going to make referees almost overthink things now even more. And you just kind of wonder, I mean, how is it going to look from here on? I think this has really completely changed things. It's going to go so south. And us as fans, we're also going to wonder. I mean, myself as a Chelsea fan, we always go to games, and if Anthony Taylor's ref in a game, we've always got that kind of, that kind of thing in mind where it's like, and we get a little bit defensive when certain stuff go the other way. And now it's almost like even that narrative can be pushed even more now for this reason. So it's things like that where this situation has almost just completely kind of ruined the integrity of referees even more. And I mean, I think the referee role is already one that's becoming less attractive to people who want to, kind of go down that route. I mean, becoming and making this a attractive profession is kind of declining by the day, with things like that. And of course, by the PGMOL making things difficult as well and not necessarily taking matters like this in the past a little bit differently. But yeah, I think this one situation has just really gonna kick things off. And that's his fault.
Wait, so not to defend the ref, right? But does this video surprise anybody in terms of they are human, right? So they did grow up watching the sport if they're now refereeing because they probably couldn't make it playing. So they do have their favorite teams. I mean, this guy is obviously an idiot.
But also the level of professionalism.
No, Will, though, but this is sorry, brother. I would say this though, Will. It's about Nina's right. It's about professionalism. At the end of the day, there are certain jobs in this world. Some, by the way, are more serious than being a referee. Could be being a police officer. Could be being a doctor, a politician. There are certain jobs where you have to, when you take that role as a professional, you are meant to become apolitical. You're meant to be completely unbiased, and you're not meant to allow any type of personal feeling or immutable factor enter your decision making. And there are probably across all levels of refereeing and all levels of those other professions I've mentioned, people that are amazing at that. And that is what should be looked at. And there has to be protocols in place that, again, I don't know what they are because I don't work in those industries, but that ensures that those protocols are being followed, that behavior is being followed. And I don't think saying he's human is a good enough excuse. You may think and feel in that way, and maybe he just said it.
But I'm not giving him.
And he's never acted against it. Maybe he hasn't. But it's one of those things you just. I don't know if you know people that work in those types of professions. I've got a friend who used to be a police officer many years ago, and we would ask him questions. Oh, what happened in this? He didn't tell us once ever any single story about anything that ever went on. He kind of kept it all to himself. He didn't speak about people in a bad way. He didn't slag anybody off. He just kind of kept that part of his life really separate, if that made sense. And I always kind of respected that. And I think, maybe that needs to come back into society. Like, you've got a job. Again, I worked at Barclays 15 years. We had rules. You could not talk negatively about the company or customers to friends, family, at home, online, at any point. This is normal. And at the very least, if he feels this way, he can't be telling anybody. At the very least.
But that's the thing, though. So I'm not giving him an excuse. I'm not saying, he's human, it's okay. No. What I'm saying is, obviously, this guy's an idiot. But my thing is, they're human in terms of they've grown up watching the sport. They're going to have favorite clubs. There's going to be refs who support Arsenal, who support Man City, United, Liverpool, all these big clubs. What I'm saying is this video does not make me feel any differently to what I would have already thought. He just said it out loud. But of course, there's going to be some refs that think, F United and whatever. But it's just more so about if you don't want these kind of things to happen, then it's kind of like what you're gonna make like AI or something do like the refereeing. Like that'd be the only way to take biasness out of the game. Like you would have to have like artificial.
I think that would be the perfect world.
Well, no, maybe. No, I still think you need human beings involved in it, but I just don't think you have to. I think there are lots of people in this world. Look, there are football players, right, who grew up supporting certain clubs. For instance, Jamie Carragher grew up an Everton fan. As soon as he joined Liverpool as a youngster, that became his club. He fell in love with them. Rio Ferdinand did not grow up a Man United fan. He was West Ham through and through in their academy. He ends up joining Man United, stays there for a long time. He says we when he talks about Manchester United. He's now a Man United fan. I think if you are professional in your role and in your job, you should, and they get paid well, by the way. They're not like footballers, but they get paid well. I think you have to learn to drop that biased behavior. You have to learn that it's a job. You shouldn't be taking criticism personally. And if you can't get rid of a bias you have towards certain teams, someone says here, Terry, if you became a ref, do you think you would genuinely wouldn't help Man United? But I wouldn't become a ref. I wouldn't be able to do that. Therefore, I would not become a referee. Simple. It's one of the reasons why there's a number of reasons why I wouldn't become a police officer. But one of the reasons is if I turn up to a house where someone's done something to a child, I wouldn't be able to arrest that person. I'd hurt that person. Therefore, it would be stupid for me to become a police officer because I would break the rules of that. I don't know. Same as I don't know if I could be a nurse or a doctor because there's certain people that would come in hurt or turn out done something evil or bad. And you've got to save their life. I don't know if I would want to. That's why I couldn't do that job either. I'm being honest here. Like just how I feel as a human being. So therefore, I shouldn't do a job where I have to be like that. You know, you have to be almost a special type of person to do a job like this. And maybe one of the answers is they've got to start paying, you know, more money, maybe investing more money into getting better quality people. And, you know, maybe that's part of it. I don't know. But yeah, listen, if you're
maybe like what you could do to maybe fix it is so in like America, right? And like in our sports, the mics that the refs have are so you could hear like what they're saying. Like the refs are mic'd up. And then I think maybe if you do like refs should have to do post-game interviews, like, and then get asked these questions on why you made this decision. Then I feel like if refs had to explain it, and then if people can actually hear like what they're saying while they're going through their thoughts process of making a decision, then maybe that'll eliminate obvious errors that are made because now it's like, well, how can you defend it when you have to? So
yeah, I hear where you're coming from.
That will never happen.
Oh, they won't do it. No. I hear where you're coming from, but they won't do it. No.
Like, why do you guys think it won't happen though? Like, why wouldn't that be a thing?
Because it goes against everything and the sport. You know, nobody would talk about the clubs. Everyone would talk about the refereeing's interview for half time, full time. That'd be the hottest topic.
I honestly think if it became normal that we got a refereeing report similar to the NBA 2-minute report or something like that after the game about some of the calls, we maybe would be a little bit more understanding. But even that, what we've gotten on Twitter recently from the referee, the Premier League referee oversight thing, even that is just to cover their asses. I don't believe them. They need to do something to get us to start to believe them more. And maybe if they show that they're trying to make some change, like maybe implementing a voting system with the clubs to have some power over who's in charge running the PGMOL, or just something to show us that they care. Because they're not trying to bridge the gap at all. It just seems like they're just trying to protect their own, and it almost seems like the relationship police have with certain parts of the community. That's what it seems like to me.
I understand where you're coming from here. This isn't a Prem problem. I think it goes deep into the coaching. Improve the foundation first. Foreign coaches will speed this up. And Ads here says that they all need to be mic'd up so everyone can hear, like in rugby or cricket. What they don't realize is how much a decision affects people. I understand that, but that won't happen until they learn to take accountability. And that's when you watch Howard Webber mic'd up, the lack of accountability is there because they clearly pre-rehearse it. He knows what the questions are going to be, and his questions are never scrutinized. He went on the overlap, and I love the overlap. I do love that show. But the lack of scrutiny he got, he would give an answer. There'd be a little challenge. Then he'd make a joke about a custard cream, and they'd all go, laugh and move on. I'm watching as a fan thinking, you've got the chance to grill him here and nothing. And until they can't take accountability in pre-planned interviews, they're never going to do it live on TV with millions of people watching. I think Nina is spot on. But viewers, please hit the like button for us and make sure you ask.